Hello people of the internet, welcome back to the Yu-Gi-Oh! Project, a bizarre project where I'm trying to make a somehow playable deck for every character that has ever made an appearance in any media of children's card game in any form of it, either anime, manga or book. The decks are going to be constructed according to these 6 on-screen rules. Today, in the episode 4 of my little project, we are doing a deck for an ex-cult leader Sartorius Kumar, or Takuma Sayo, as he is known in the more eastern parts of planet Earth. As in the first 2 episodes, I'll let TGS Anime's channel explain his personality, and I will link that video in the description below. In the anime, Sartorius plays an Arcana Force deck. This archetype is based on tarot cards and relies heavily on coin flipping. Until the past year, Arcana Force deck was almost unplayable, but with the release of Arcana Reading, is the deck somehow not totally shite anymore. Most of the decks on the internet only rely on the world loop, but this is not how the Sartorius' version of the deck works. Figuring out how to make a version of the deck that is as pure as possible and actually has more than one win condition was quite a pain, and me being an OG GX fan led to quite an intensive deck building journey, both in YGO Pro and in real life. And yes, you heard me correctly, I really made an Arcana Force deck in real life. Before we start with the deck list, I have a little notice for you. Next week I'm making a 5-episode special, which will span for 2 episodes and will feature a character who has used 2 decks. Start off with the deck list. We have 2 Arcana Force rulers, 1 light and 1 dark. Their effects are quite good, but their summoning conditions are really painful, so if you want to play the deck more competitively, play 2 copies of a Guardian of Order instead. But the version with the rulers is not totally hopeless, and I will prove this statement with the replays. Then we are playing 1 Arcana Force the World, which is a brilliant monster, but you just can't rely only on him to win the duel, because it is too inconsistent. Then 1 Arcana Force the Moon for token generation, 1 Temperance for battle damage negation, 1 Arcana Force the Lovers, which if you want to play more competitively, you can swap with 1 Magician, but honestly it does not make much difference, so play whichever do you like more. 2 the Emperor for potential attack boosts, 3 copies of the Empress, which is the best Arcana Force monster in my opinion, because both effects could in fact be beneficial to the deck, as it can summon a big Arcana Force monster cost 3 or discard Arcana Reading for an additional normal summon next turn. Then 1 Arcana Force the Magician, because it is an Arcana Force, 2 barrier statues, the light ones, to lock our opponent out of special summons, and then to round up the monster lineup, we are playing 3 copies of Arcana Force the Fool to stall our opponent if we happen to run out of other resources. Then for spells, I'm playing 3 copies of Arcana Reading, which is an amazing spell that can search every monster in the deck except statues, and can also grant us an additional normal summon. Then 3 Photon Sanctuaries, which assist us heavily with link summoning, 3 copies of Ties of the Brethren, which are the main playmakers of the deck, as they can summon the statue on the first turn to paralyze opponent, or Empress to summon an additional monsters, or the Emperor for extra attack points. Then 1 Reasoning for extra summon and potential meal of Arcana Reading, 1 Terraforming to search Arcana Barrier, 1 Monster Reborn, again to reborn a monster, 2 copies of Second Coin Toss to hopefully resolve Arcana Barrier's effect the way we want, then 3 copies of Arcana Barrier to enable any place in the deck somehow consistently, then for the traps 3 Crackdowns to steal opponent's monsters for potential link place, and then 3 Solomon Judgments to negate anything. If you are planning to build a more aggressive deck, you can run 3 Impermanences instead, but the deck is also very playable with Solomons. Then for the extra deck, 1 Despenado for attack utility and potential monster reborn effect, 1 Dugares for draw power and again monster reborn effect, 1 Underworld Goddess of the Closed World, because she works magnificently in this deck because she's light attribute and can use an opponent's monster as material, 1 Avermax to perform an extremely strong statue lock, which we'll see in the replays, 1 Appaloosa for negates, 1 Parshat Link monster because it is link 3 and it performs well in this deck, the Nightmare Utility Duo, 3 Hippo Shenanigans for Evermax plays, 1 Track Leg if you are in the OCG, and if you are playing in the TCG, run another Cerberus instead, 1 Herald of Mirage Lights for occasional negate, and 1 Link Rebo to protect our barrier statue from attacks. Now let's see how the deck performs in real life. Please use this decklist responsibly, as it may cause some headaches, flipped tables, or smashed keyboards. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel. I will do one of these lists once a week if possible for starters. Please leave a comment and tell me which character should I do next. Cheers!